Thank you for that very significant presentation. I'd like to try to draw your attention to some of the issues in the contemporary period. Now, you highlighted towards the end that those who allude to terrorism and use the name of Islam are criminals, and they have subverted the classical teachings. I'd like you to elaborate on when do you think that began to go wrong? Is it a function of internal problems, or are the external policy dilemmas more of an issue? Please, if you would elaborate.
This is a very interesting question. So we have a short time. I would like to give a brief answer to every question. To my opinion, this is not just an internal matter. This kind of terrorism has emerged out of an international political agenda. I was born in Pakistan. I spent my whole life there. There was no act of terrorism in Pakistan 20 years before, 25 years before. There were Muslims, there were religious institutions, there were mosques, there were religious education. The circumstances have never changed, but we had never come across any suicidal bombing. We had never come across any act of terrorism or any act of radicalism. This developed when a sponsored war was fought against the illegal occupation of Russia. At that time, some global powers wanted to fight against Russian occupation, and some people from Arab and some people from Afghanistan were sponsored. They were provided the arms, ammunition, the money and trainings. And that was the time when Osama bin Laden became one of the heroes. And that was the time when Taliban came into existence. So they fought. This was a sponsored fight against Russian occupation. When Russians left the land of Afghanistan, then other people who were sponsoring them also left them. Then they started their fights and their terroristic activities, or whatever you can call, in Kashmir. When they were stopped from Kashmir too, then they were spreaded in Pakistan. And they had nothing to do except killing. This was the skill which they were taught. So I think a global political agenda was the basis of emergence of terrorism. And these terrorists in Pakistan, having very advanced arms, ammunition, money and logistics, which even Pakistani army does not possess. The question is where they are getting from. How Baitullah Masood became a giant from just an ordinary person. How the Taliban became a giant, just an ordinary students of madrasas. So this was the basic reason. Now, if we want to eliminate them, we have to decide whether elimination of terrorism is our humanistic agenda or our expansionistic agenda. If I think sincerely and honestly, if eradication and elimination and uprooting of terrorism in the whole world is just an idealistic and just a humanistic agenda, then elimination of terrorism is not a matter of more than 1 to 2 years. And if it is a political and expansionistic agenda all over the globe, then it will continue for the whole century. This is the matter.